In the last stream, we were working on finally crafting this everlasting guilty pool from Britannia to give us an infinite amount of mana, not only because it's one of the final quests required to get to the very end of the mod pack, but because we also needed a staggering amount of redstone to allow us to finally use our ultimate singularities to craft the infinite storage part and infinite fluid storage part from refined storage. And basically what I've done here between streams is I've gone ahead and placed down a constructor, a block above the guilty pool, and I've placed down 8 destructors around the base of the guilty pool. And what you can do with these is if you open up the interface, in the bottom left, there's an option to drop blocks instead of placing. So normally, when you use the destructor and constructor, like we did over here for cobblestone, it will place a block down, and then if you have the destructor, it will break the block as well. However, if you toggle the button at the bottom left here, you can change it so that the constructor will drop items and the destructor will pick up those items. And so basically, if I go ahead and turn this on, this one right now is set to off just because we already have all of the redstone we're going to need, but if I switch this to yes, you'll see that it starts dropping redstone. That redstone falls into the guilty pool. A lot of the redstone then kind of falls out of the guilty pool as more redstone is generated, because again, the way this works is you drop 1 redstone in, and that transforms into 2 redstone because we have that conjuring catalyst beneath it, and all of that extra redstone is then picked up and deposited directly into the system. And as you can see here, between streams, I've managed to gather just shy of 600,000 redstone dust. I am going to go ahead and turn this off, though, because we don't need that going anymore. I'm pretty sure that is going to be more than enough to get us both of these storage parts. The infinite storage part, which is definitely the most expensive of the two, actually is missing 21,000, so never mind. Let me go ahead and turn that back on. That does indeed need to stay on for just a little while longer. While we wait for that, the infinite fluid storage part is ready to go, so I can go ahead and hit start on that craft, and that's hopefully not going to take too long to finish here. It is a pretty big craft, but we do have these very fast netherite crafters, and all of our other crafters are very fast indeed, and of course our rainbow furnace is also extraordinarily fast. Now, other than these 2 quests, we also have the creative motor quest and the Minecolonies quest. Now, the creative motor quest should be super easy for us to complete. All we have to do is place the creative capacitor that we already have into a deployer, put down the furnace engine onto a depot, and then apply some creative kinetic energy, and that will transform it into the creative motor. That's probably going to be the last thing we do, just because it requires that we give up our creative source of power. And then with Minecolonies, this is where things get tricky, and this is where I think I'm going to have to tap out a little bit, because I think the process of getting a tier 5 town hall from nothing is going to be extremely tedious, especially because we've not done any previous Minecolonies work up until this point in the series. So normally the way this works in Minecolonies, if I press L, it opens up the advancements here. The first thing that you want to do is this guy right here. It says craft a supply camp or ship and place it by right-clicking it on the ground. So if we go ahead and type in supply ship into JEI, the supply ship is super easy to make. It's just 5 boats, which of course are just planks. We should hopefully have the ability to get some planks via our system here. We totally do. And so if we craft 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those, we can craft all those boats up into a supply ship. And then if we head down, I'm pretty sure that this supply ship is actually massive, so I don't know if I can just put it down anywhere. Yeah, I don't think I can. So if I leave here, you can see the GUI is very large. I think you can also actually craft a supply camp. Yeah, this one right here. Again, very similar recipe there. This one is just 5 chests instead of 5 boats. But again, I'm pretty sure this does the same thing. You can right-click this down, and it comes up with this big old GUI here. If you press escape, you can kind of see the size of what this is going to try and put down. It's actually not massive. And honestly, if we clear out a bit of space in this room, by that I mean if I clear out these pure daisies here and the living rock around them, I think we could probably fit this in. If you right click again, it does open up the same GUI, and then from there you can click this little rotate button here, left or right, to kind of rotate it, and then of course you can use the arrows here to push it back and forth. So I think that, yeah, if I go ahead, right click and then click the X, let me quickly get rid of the living rock here. We're not going to need any more living rock going forward. And let's see if we can't get the supply camp down. Okay, so a little bit of space clearing later, and it looks like that should go down. We can test it by hitting the tick there, and there we go. We have our supply camp right at the start. It does just throw every single block down for you, and basically the only reason you need the supply camp is because over here inside of this rack, there is a town hall, and the town hall is what you need to get started with Minecolonies. So that has completed that quest there, and I do believe now that we should be able to place our town hall down. We might need more space than what we currently have. Let me try. If I put this in here, we suggest using the build tool to place the schematic. This will allow you to adjust the position. I'll click place anywhere for now. And in here, we can go ahead and create a new colony. Now, this is not a great place to build it, but if I click, I don't think we need the rest of the camp here, so we could tear this down. But if I click create new colony, that's going to create a colony. And I think we should see shortly colonists arrive, so NPCs that will join and be part of our colony. And you can see it's put down these like boundaries here. This is the boundary edge, I should say, of our colony. Now, the way this is going to work going forward, or the way this would normally work, is we would then look at building a builder's hut. So if you go into JEI and you type in builder's hut, that's this one right here. We can craft the builder's hut. It, again, is super easy for us to make. We need a build tool. The build tool, again, very simple. This is the same build tool that it recommends you use to put down the town hall, and then the rest of that looks fairly simple. It's a door and some plank, and that gets us a builder's hut. Now, again, we do need more space for this, and our space is extraordinarily limited. If I right-click here, actually, yes, this should be easier to do with the builder's wand. If I make a second builder's wand, I can show you how this works. So if you right-click on the ground, it will then give you the same GUI as before. Here, what we can go ahead and do is click on decoration, click on builder, and that should show us the builder's hut. By default, it's set to level 1, and it's set to acacia. This is a little tricky to use. Let me go ahead and get rid of that for the time being, because we don't really have much space. What we can do here, if we can find our elevator, we could head through. Actually, real quick, let me check on our redstone. We've got 650,000, which should be more than enough for us to get the infinite storage part. It is. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly turn that off. But what we can do here is we can head through to the nether, and we can go grab our builder, because the builder can be used in quarry mode to clear out quite a large area. Right now, we are using it in quarry mode to, or we were using it in quarry mode, I should say, to mine for soul sand and glowstone. But what we can do, if we swap our shape quarry fortune card for a shape quarry clearing card, we can set up a quarry that will delete blocks. By default, I don't know if I mentioned it when I set the builder up, by default, the way the builder works, if you just use a regular quarry card, it will replace the blocks that it mines with dirt. So you'll see over here, there was once some glowstone there. We've mined that glowstone, and it's been turned into dirt. But if you, instead of using a regular shape quarry card, if you instead craft a clearing quarry card, you can have it just fully delete the blocks, which is, of course, ideal if you want to clear out a large space. So real quick here, let's go ahead and throw down our builder. We'll put it down like here for now. And then if we craft the clearing quarry card, that's this guy right here, it's fairly simple to make. It's the regular quarry card, which should not be too difficult for us. We need a regular shape card along with a diamond pickaxe and a diamond shovel. Once we have that regular quarry card, you can then just surround that with glass. That gets you the clearing quarry card. And so now, just like we did before, we can throw down a source of power. Let's do that. I'm going to put down a trash can here on top of the builder. Again, you could put a chest here by default, and it would collect all of the stone and all of the ore that it mines. But for the time being, we really don't need the outputs of this, so we can just delete that into a trash can. Just like before, we can put in the shape card, and then if we click the question mark next to the card, we can configure the size of the area that we want to mine out. We want to mine out a box. We want to make sure the box is solid. We don't want it to be hollow. We want it to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks tall. So we can put 7 in the Y box here. We're going to offset that by 3. That's going to go 3 blocks above where the builder currently is. So 1, 2, 3. That's going to put it in the middle. It might need to be 4. Now that I think about it, I think you have to go 1 above the halfway mark if you have an odd number. And then we need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe I think this is 21 wide. So if we set this to, let's say, 21 by 21, that should give us a 21 by 21 square that is 7 tall. Again, we do want to offset that because right now, the way the builder works is it puts itself at the center of the cube. We want to push it further back that way because we don't want to delete what's already here. And so if we hit F3, we are currently moving in the negative X direction. So we want to offset that over here. This is X, Y, and Z. We want to offset this by negative 11, I think. Again, half plus 1 there. We can go ahead and visualize. And I don't see any of the blocks, which is potentially a good sign. Yes, it looks like we've pushed it maybe 1 too far back. Let's try negative 10. Yes, that looks right. You'll see all the blocks there are in the wall. The rest are not because they're stone there. So I think this is correct. If I grab a lever, and if I throw that lever down on the builder, we should see all of the blocks in front of us getting deleted. Oh my goodness. Hello. So our colonists have arrived. We have Jade. We have Martin. We have Cyrus. And I'm assuming we have a fourth one. We do indeed. We also have Lola. Look at that. We have all of our colonists ready to go. And we also have a big new area for our colony. So it looks like I was 1 block off. So I had it right the first time. You want to set this to to 3, not to 4. And so if I turn that back on, it should delete the bottom line here. And I didn't want to visualize that. Unfortunately, if you do visualize it, it's sometimes hard to get rid of it. I think it's a little buggy. Like, the blue blocks here are supposed to go away. If they don't, you can just break them with the pickaxe. I don't think you can vein mine them. You can't. They're fake blocks. You don't get anything for mining them. Usually, if you click the visualize button, what should happen is when you click it again, the blue blocks should disappear. But for some reason, sometimes, again, I think it's a bug. When you do click it again for the second time, it just doesn't unvisualize. They just stay there, which is definitely less than ideal because they do take a little bit of time to get rid of. But hopefully, what we should be able to do now is right-click with the build tool, select our builder. You do get to select a design here, so we can push this back a little bit and we can take a look at what we're actually going to be building. I also think we do want to bring this up by at least 1, oh no, maybe not 1 block. I think maybe this is fine. Let's go with, okay, so acacia is like acacia. Asian uses regular old standard wood. I then think there's quite a few actually as you go down here. There's quite a few that you can make. And the cool thing about this stone looks like it would be easy for us to make here. The cool thing about the builder's one though is that you can visualize the higher tier huts as well, because this is a tier 1 hut, but as the quest indicates, we need to build a tier 5 town hall. And that's where this comes in over here. I can select level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5. So you'll see that the higher tier builder's hut doesn't actually take up more space. It just becomes more complicated, right? It's just more convoluted. There's more stuff in here to make the hut that higher tier. So we have to start at level 1 and click the tick. That's going to go ahead and place down the builder's hut like block that we crafted. And what we should be able to do now is we should be able to click build options and then build building. And it says there is no builder close enough to work on this building. Assign a builder manually to build this. So I think we should be able to assign a builder to that. Build options. Builder. We don't want to build anything just yet. I don't know if we can assign somebody to this. Hold on. If we go over here. There we go. There we go. Okay, so it worked that time. I don't know why it didn't work the first time, but you can click build options and then build building. And it says build request created for builder 1 at colony. So if we click manage workers, you'll see that right now our builder is Cyrus. Although we do have an adaptability score. I don't think it really matters too much who our builder is just yet. But here he is. Cyrus is ready. He says, I've started work on builder 1. So he's ready to build this building hut. If we talk to him, he should tell us that he's missing certain things required to actually build this. And I think actually, if we go to Minecolonies, there is an item that we can make. I think it's the resource scroll. I think the resource scroll will show us what Cyrus needs to make this happen. If I right-click the resource scroll, if I shift right-click the resource scroll, there we go, on the builder, and we right-click, these are all of the items that Cyrus needs in order to actually make this builder happen. So if I right-click on him, you'll see he's got like a little thing above his head. He needs to talk to me. And you'll see he's missing a tool. He needs a pickaxe. That is completely fine. Cyrus, we can get you a pickaxe. I don't think it really matters at this point which pickaxe we get him, although I think at tier 1, he might not be able to use a diamond pickaxe. He might be able to use a cobblestone pickaxe. We'll give him one of those and see if he can make it happen. All we have to do, click on his inventory, which is on the left there, and give him a pickaxe. And that should be taken care of. Now, there are going to be other things that he needs. For example, he's going to start telling us that he needs all of this stuff. So what we need to do is we need to grab some cobblestone. We need to grab some cobblestone wall. We also need to grab some dirt, which we don't have that much of, along with some logs of the oak variety and some fences. Oh no, and a rack. We need 2 racks from Minecolonies. Thankfully, I don't think that the racks are particularly difficult to make. They are not. They are surprisingly easy. The only thing that we're missing is planks. 1 and 2. So what we can do is we can give him this stuff. He does say he needs this pickaxe, and he is still saying he needs a pickaxe. I might have to give him a wooden pickaxe. I'm going to give him all the rest of this stuff as well, because he is going to start using this very soon here. Again, we're not giving him enough dirt there, but that is fine. I also don't even know if he needed fences. Let me try giving him a regular wooden pickaxe. I think that might be where you have to start. And this is kind of where the problems begin to arise. We'll give him a wooden pickaxe and see if that looks like it's cleared him. He's no longer got the little alert above his head. So I think that's going to be good to go. Yep, there he goes. So I think what he's going to do here, the reason he's asked for a pickaxe is because we've built the builder. We've put the builder down, like in the stone. Yeah, and he doesn't like that. He needs to put down dirt here because he wants his building hut to be on grass. That's fine. We'll come back to that guy in a second. If I quickly go and get some more dirt, which thankfully with our blood altar is extremely easy for us to do. All I've done here is put dirt on the importer whitelist here, so I can just right-click the granite. It instantly gets turned into dirt and then gets deposited into our system. And so once we have enough dirt to suffice, right now these guys are sleeping. It's hard to tell because they're just standing around the town hall, but I'm pretty sure that when they leave their work, so when they just kind of stand around the town hall, again, it's hard to tell because we're in an underground cave, but I'm pretty sure that means it's nighttime, so we should be able to drop a bed down and just sleep to switch over to a new day. You can tell this is the first time we've been sleeping through the entirety of the pack because there's been no need to up until this point. But you'll see that he is extraordinarily slow. It's taken him quite a while to dig out this floor here. I think we can help old Cyrus along. He's going to head back over to his work day. Again, he can't jump over the fence like I can, so he's going to do the long walk all the way around. But he is going to get here. And I think, again, I can help him along if I do something like this. It should allow him to just start putting dirt down instead. Yep, there we go. He is putting down grass. Again, I think we could help him here as well. I think if we put down the grass for him, that would also kind of speed up this process. But this is where I think that I'm kind of going to have to abandon Minecolonies. The reason for that is that basically the way that we get to a tier 5 town hall from here is we let the builder, Cyrus, here, finish. What do you need, Cyrus? You need something? Hello, what would you like? You need 48 dirt. Of course, I will work on that. And by work on that, I mean, here you go. I have, never mind, I did have the dirt. His inventory is full of junk because he's picking up all the trash that that's been dropped on the floor here. But there you go. There is the dirt you need, Cyrus. Never fear. I have what you desire. He's going to keep putting that down. But basically, the way that Minecolonies is going to work for us, because we don't need to do it, like, if you start a mod pack with Minecolonies, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do. You can get a mining hut, and you can send somebody down to do some mining for you. Again, if you're starting in, like, a regular Minecraft world, you can have a little colonist go and do mining. You can have a colonist set up, like, a tree farm for you. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with Minecolonies, but we're at a point in this pack where we don't need any of that stuff, and the only reason that I'm doing this is to try and get that tier 5 town hall. And unfortunately, getting the tier 5 town hall is very, very, very tedious because what you have to do, you have to place down the tier 1 builder's hut. Once you have the tier 1 builder's hut, you can then build the tier 1 town hall. Then you have to tell the builder to upgrade to a tier 2 builder's hut. Again, it's the same process. You just give him all the things he needs to build it, and then he very, very, very slowly places down all of the blocks to build that hut. Then you can tell him to build the tier 2 town hall. Again, it works in the same way where they never have to tear anything down. They always just add to the pre-existing building. But if we want to get him to build a tier 2 town hall, we just have to give him the stuff and wait for him to build it. Then we have to upgrade to a tier 3 building hut, wait for him to build it, tier 4 building hut, wait for him to build it, tier 5 building hut, wait for him to build it, tier 3 town hall, tier 4 town hall, tier 5 town hall. And it's just a lot of handing pretty basic resources to your colonist and then just waiting for them to slowly but surely put it down. I assume right now he's a little annoyed that, oh no, he needs slabs. I thought he was going to be annoyed about the zombie, but he seems completely fine about the zombie. Let me give you some slabs, my friend. I can do that very easily. You also need more dirt? Is that because I've dug out more of the floor? Is it, if I fill this in with stone, is that going to be fine, or do you need it to be dirt? If I shift right click again, let's have a look. Oh, 113 dirt now, eh? It does need to be dirt. That is fine. We can get more dirt, but you can see how this is going to become very, very tedious. Not least because the tier 5 town hall is a massive building. It doesn't even mention as much in the quest book. It says that's going to require a lot of space, but it looks kind of cool. And I can agree, it does look kind of cool, but it's also an extremely tedious process for zero reward. At this point in the pack, that I'd be doing it just for the sake of doing it, which you could argue is also the case for some of the other quests, but we've been building towards this, right? We've been working on our refined storage system, we've been working on getting towards the singularities, we've been working on all of the create stuff, and with Minecolonies, there's just been nothing. It's this is the only quest in the book that has to do with Minecolonies. Minecolonies is not mentioned, to the best of my knowledge, anywhere else in the quest book. It only comes up right at the very end, which seems like a bit of a missed opportunity, but in my opinion, I don't really think it's going to be worth me spending what I think is going to take hours, potentially like 5, 6, 7 hours, just waiting for Cyrus here, who has disappeared. I do need to put some... please don't kill Cyrus! I need Cyrus! No! Cyrus... Is Cyrus dead? Cyrus died. Why would you kill Cyrus? I needed him! Well, I didn't need him, because I'm not going to do it, but still, I would have liked to have kept Cyrus. Thankfully, Cyrus is replaceable. Let me put some torches down here to keep our colonists alive. Thankfully, Cyrus is replaceable, and never fear, Lola is here to fill the giant Cyrus-spaced hole in our lives. Hello, Lola. I'm assuming you need all of the stuff that Cyrus had now in order to make this happen. Here's the dirt that he requested. I'm assuming you can use that to fill in this floor here. Again, I'm pretty sure that we could do that for her if we wanted to. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to wait for this to happen. Again, in like a regular Minecraft playthrough, you could put down the builder and then go and do some other stuff, you know, do some mining, go find a village or whatever it is you want to do, and then you could come back, work some more on your colony, expand, you can build houses, you can make your colonists like have children, you can get more colonists, you can set up, like I said, tree farms, you can set up miners, you can set fishermen up, you can set up a lot of cool stuff with Minecolonies, and it seems like a cool mod, but I don't think it's the kind of mod that you just start at the very end of a mod pack for the sole goal of just making a tier 5 town hall. I think that's a bit of a waste of time, and so I think that I'm going to skip over that quest for the tier 5 town hall. I'm going to save my kind of first forte really into Minecolonies for a pack that specializes in that mod, because it seems like a really cool mod, and it seems like I'm just going to get frustrated with it if we're just waiting for hours and hours for the very slow builders to try and very slowly build a town hall. Let's take a look in our system. We do have the infinite fluid storage part. Let's go ahead and request the infinite regular storage part and start. Again, hopefully shouldn't take too long. I think the longest part about all this is the rainbow furnace. Probably by far, I think this is definitely the thing that's just going to take the longest, because we need so many processes in order to make this storage part here. You'll see that we need like 78,000 improved processes, 39,000 advanced processes, and we need to smelt over 1 million silicon. I actually don't know how long this is going to take. It might take quite a bit of time. All right, so it did take quite a long time. In fact, I've left the server running overnight. It's now a new day, and we finally have the infinite storage part and the infinite fluid storage part. I don't know exactly how long it took to make this, but after about an hour, we still had over 1 million nether quartz to smelt, so I decided to go to bed, let it do its thing. We're now on a new day, and these have finished crafting, so we can go ahead and complete both of those infinite storage part quests, leaving us with just one quest left to do, and that is the quest for the creative motor. And so what we should be able to do here is grab one of our depots as well as a deployer. I really thought we'd have one in the system, but I think we've actually used all of our deployers in our nether star creation system. Thankfully, the electron tubes are very easy to make, and as are the deployers, And so what we should be able to do here is grab our creative capacitor, this guy right here, and if we place our depot down, let's say right about here, in fact, we might have to, if we move this down by 1, so if we get rid of this block, put the depot in the floor and put the deployer on like that, I think what we should be able to do is place the creative capacitor into the hand of the deployer. So we right click that right about here. And then we need to place a furnace engine at the bottom. We do already have a furnace engine, but ours is currently down to give us power from our flywheel. Thankfully, another one isn't going to be too difficult for us to do here. We do need some more brass sheets. I'll go ahead and request 5 of those. We also need 2 brass ingots. We also need quite a bit more inventory space than what we currently have, along with, I think it was a piston. Yeah, 1 piston and then 1 brass casing. The brass casing we have, and the piston we can request, start, and start. That is crafted basically instantly, and our brass plates are done. Fantastic. So I think that we can do something like this, where we do the same smaller craft, but on a much bigger wall. So if I put the piston there, and I put the brass casing here, and I put all of the brass sheets here, I think this should work. Let's grab some coal. Let's throw that coal over into our furnace engine hopper, this one right here. That should kick our system back into gear. It totally does. And then the final thing that we might have to do here is grab a button and reset this wall of crafters. At which point, if they're receiving all of the right ingredients, which it looks like they are, they should all combine nice and neatly, albeit somewhat slowly because it is using the entire wall, into a furnace engine. We can drop that down right about here, and kapow, we get a creative motor. This essentially gives us unlimited creative kinetic energy. You place it down, and then over on the back, there's a little number readout here. If you hover over that, you can use the scroll wheel to set this to whichever kinetic speed you like. So if we were to get some shaft, and we were to place that shaft down onto this motor, this is now free infinite kinetic energy at any speed you like, up to 256, which is exceptionally fast and more than we're currently using for any of our create contraptions. But with that, chat, we have unlocked the You've Won questline, which we're going to tick, and with that, that is going to wrap up this Cave Factory series. So I did go ahead and cheat in the quest here for Minecolonies. We didn't build the tier 5 town hall, but thankfully somebody on the server here did. One of our patrons, that being Telus, I don't know quite the correct pronunciation there, but hopefully one of those is somewhat close to correct. But they have gone through and done basically almost everything in Minecolonies here. They've set up quite the little village for all of their colonists. This building right here is the tier 5 town hall, or at least one of the many tier 5 town halls that you can build. Again, it depends on like the style that you choose, much like with the builder hut earlier. You can pick which style you build your town hall in, and this is one of those town halls. It's not a gigantic building. It is fairly big, but it's like densely complex in that it's just got a lot of random stuff in it that you have to get and give to your builder, right? You have to hand him brewing stands, racks, enchantment tables, orange carpet specifically, the armor stand, the stairs, all of the little bits and pieces, all of the different clay ledgers. You have to just hand all of these individual pieces to the colonist and wait while they slowly, block by block, place all of this down until it's fully complete. Again, a little bit tedious in my mind, especially if we're not going to do the entirety of Minecolonies, which I think we will do at some point in the future. I'm almost certain that we'll end up playing a mod pack that has Minecolonies better integrated into the kind of the fabric of the mod pack, but I don't really think this mod pack has Minecolonies particularly well integrated, and I don't really think it's worth us spending, the next 10 episodes setting up a Minecolonies colony just for the sake of getting this quest completed at the bottom of the challenges quest line. I think instead we'll wait until there's like a more focused mod pack that has Minecolonies in it before we really delve into that. And we've been playing Cave Factory for long enough now. I kind of want to move on to start something new. Hopefully the next mod pack isn't going to quite take 9 months. Cave Factory took way too long, chat. But hopefully the next pack will be much quicker, much more regular episodes. For those of you who don't know, I have been posting videos over on the Nick and Isaac channel with my good friend Nick. That's youtube.com/Nick and Isaac. Recently, we've been playing an extremely fun mod pack called Feed the Factory. That's a really cool like Factorio style mod pack where you build and expand on this ever-growing factory that requires more and more resources that you have to automate and produce. It's a super cool pack. I'll put a link in the description. And on the end screen, In fact, I'll put the little Nickel Isaac logo in the middle of the screen here. You can click on that and it'll take you right over. For now, though, thank you for watching. If you have made it to the very end of Cave Factory, thank you for sticking with me and watching all the way through. I know it has taken way too long to get all of these episodes out. I promise the next series will not take 9 months to complete, and there will be more than 1 episode a month. For now, though, thank you for watching. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys next time.